Hello, welcome back to Eclectic Trains. So this one's a little bit late. I've got the Accurascale J67 here. I've got number 84, pre-grouping colors. And I got the sound fitted version, just because why not? I don't always buy sound fitted, so I figured this one I get a sound version. This one's a little bit late, because I had some issues actually getting it to where I am now. The P-Class arrived where it was supposed to, when it was supposed to, because I moved at the end of last year and I had to go in and change all of my addresses on everywhere I order stuff from. Yep, the warning about not using old-fashioned controllers. A function list. I'll be referencing this when showing off some features later. And then there's this little booklet in GER style that gives you a history of the class and where they worked. I love this sort of thing from Accurascale. This is brilliant. And then there's a basic owner's manual. Now I'm going to point out it uses the DAPL style DCC fitting solution, which is brilliant. Ooh, dang it. My table's going to be a bit of a mess because I'm trying to figure out getting a second loop set up soon. If you look at the instructions on the back here of how to access the insides, it doesn't tell you that you need to remove the tray first, which is something that DAPL instructions do totally do, so that might be an issue if you're having trouble removing the body to do your own fit. And the other thing is there's not a lot of instructions on where to put the accessories either. Anyway, I had to change my addresses on everything so that stuff would arrive here, but for some reason the address change for this specific order did not go through, so it got delivered to my old address. And long story short, Postal Service wouldn't do their job. My previous place, which was an apartment, their management wouldn't forward it to me, so I had to go out there and get it. It's really annoying. Anyway, now I've got it. Let's do the big reveal here. It's beautiful. There's a big accessory pack on the bottom. Nice pair of tweezers for removing the tray. That's really nice. And then there is some etched brass number plates, a whole bunch of destination boards, and it looks like we've got some screw-link couplings in there as well, and a few other bits. Nice lot of accessories. And now let's get the main show out here. I know that comes through on camera. That finish is beautiful. This is fast becoming one of my favorite paint schemes. I love it. Nice weight to her too. One of my complaints about the Rapido E1 was a lack of weight. There wasn't much metal work on it. This got a metal running plate and a metal boiler. That's what I'm talking about. Similar price point, but there's so much metal on this. Right, I'm gonna get this guy set up. We'll look at the details and then do some sound demo. Alright, now let's look at some of the details here. So in the front of the smoke box, there's a destination board already fitted. The accessory bag provides a whole load of those, so you can model just about any branch of the Great Eastern Wren if you want to, which is really cool. Here's a smoke box dart picked out in the pre-grouping style. There's what appears to be a sandbox there. So there's a camera to focus here. There we go. The sandbox. The filter, all the decoration is completely on point. All the lining is perfectly straight. That gold band behind the smoke box. I think my camera does not want to focus tonight. There we go. There's a vacuum pipe and a coupling hook already fitted. There are sprung buffers. The smoke box door pops off, and the tray inside that has the DCC socket is removable. Plugs in with like a USB port, kind of like the Dapple solution. And yes, that does need to come out if you want to remove the body. The instructions aren't 100% clear on that, but that's how it is. That Westinghouse pump is absolutely gorgeous. Beautifully presented. There's a little bit of valve gear detail in between the frames. Let's see if I can get a look at that. Yeah, there's a little bit of valve gear detail in there. You can just see it. The wheels are absolutely exquisite. Completely precise lining. Ah, there's the focus. The bunch of frame detail, some pipe work under there. The top, there's water filler caps. More lining. Multi-layer colored lining, like with so many pre-grouping lines. That whistle. I'm not sure if that's metal or not, but it looks really nice. And if we get a look inside that cab there. The cab roof is removable. So let's get a look in there. That's beautiful. Printed gauges. All the controls are individually picked out. Most of them are separately fitted. It's got that twist reverser. One thing I'm noticing, so that one coal rail is bent. I don't know if I did that when I was unboxing it or if it was that way, so I won't mark it off on quality or anything for that. It does have a firebox glow, but since I have the sound version, it's actually tied to part of the sound file. When you activate the coal shoveling, the fire turns on, which is really cool. Yeah, that's really pretty. It's got this strange orange color in there. I've never seen that before. Now, I was showing that I want to know what you guys think. My roommate, who is slightly dyslexic, thought the G on this looked like a C. When I'm looking at it up close on camera like this, I can totally tell it's a G. Dang. There we go. Like looking at it like this, I can tell it's a G, but from a distance, I can kind of see how you get confused. Let me know what you all think. Then there's that printed nameplate there, well, number plate. More sprung buffers, another coupling hook, more vacuum brakes, a bunch of separately fitted lamp brackets, and a destination board. The rails around the rear windows are there. There's no coal load in it though, which is really strange. Usually these models provide a coal load, usually they provide a prefab coal load. This one doesn't, which is a little bit strange. But all the stuff down there is accurately modeled, so I might market that on detail for that. Let me know if you think that's a bit harsh. And if you look in the cab there, you can see where the coal would pour through for the fireman to shovel. Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous, and the pipework is slightly different on the other side if we turn her around. Yeah, the pipework is a little bit different. All the steps are fully lined. Yeah, all the pipework is just a little bit different on this side. It's all accurate. You can see the hinge for the smoke box door. And the boiler and the running plate are all metal. So in my opinion, this is more worth the price that it had on it than the Rapido E1 was. Let's get the roof back on here. And I'll go ahead and turn this around. I'll go ahead and apply some power to the track and show you some of the sound features. Alright, and we're back. Track power is applied and sound is on. It's not on right out of the box. The sound is turned on with function 1. Function 2 is a brake. And now we got 3 whistle features. Now this I found kind of funny. So we're going to start with function 4 here. And then function 5. Okay, your normal whistle stuff. But 3, push the button, and it just keeps going until you turn it off. This made me chuckle a little bit. It's like that one Thomas episode. It isn't wrong, but we just don't do it. Yeah, I find that very entertaining. Referencing the function list. F6 is light loco mode, which I assume changes the sound effect, to accommodate weight, which is kind of cool. There's a function 7 is a Westinghouse pump. Yep. Eight is injectors. Wait, 8 is the coal shoveling, and here we have the firebox glow activated. Wonderful effect. Shines brilliantly. Let me turn that off. And some of these will just activate randomly while it's running. So like it'll just be running around and then you'll start hearing coal shoveling or something. It's 9 that's the injectors. Yep. And 10 is cylinder drains. 11 is buffer clashing coupling. There's an uncoupling cycle on 12. There's a heavy load mode on 13. And there's a guard's whistle on 16. That's the other notable one that I might use. But yeah, that's a really good sound file. I enjoy it quite a lot. Now let's test out her performance a little bit. The crawl is absolutely superb. I've seen that they are physically capable of doing slightly slower than this on analog, but for a, like, you know, starting speed on a digital setting, this is fabulous, and it's perfectly smooth. No complaints there. And as we accelerate, you can see it doesn't go ridiculously fast either, and it has a nice gradual slowdown. The table's a little bit messy because I'm starting to try and set up a second loop. Oh, and there goes the coal shoveling. I was testing out my point earlier to make sure things wouldn't derail on it. Let's reset that. And let's just pump it up. The chuffing sounds pretty good. And the acceleration is smooth, but not ridiculously fast. That's some really good starting settings there. And when I cut the throttle, it slows down naturally. And go to hissing. But yeah, that's some really good performance from this, and some really, really well-tuned DCC settings for out of the box. I like this a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and back this up onto some coaches, and we'll have a quick running session. Alright, so final thoughts and ratings. This is a wonderful little model. I absolutely love it. It's very cute, and it's the first ready-to-run engine in this livery ever, at least to my knowledge. So for that alone, it's unique in my collection. So the detail score is 4.5 out of 5. I marked it down half a mark for the missing coal load. Why they wouldn't include that, I do not know. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments. The accessories are 4.5 out of 5. They have basically everything you would want except crew figures. Since there's so much to the detail pack, I couldn't mark it down a full star like I usually do for crew because I felt like that might have been dishonest. So, crew marked down. Marked down half a mark for not having crew figures out of the box. The DCC settings are 5 stars for me. The acceleration and deceleration are perfectly set. It feels like it has the inertia of a real locomotive out of the box. And the speed and power control settings are exactly realistic for this prototype. At least based on the research I've done. Not a super fast engine. And what's even weirder is that I don't know if this is because of the... I don't know if this is like the rocky wheels or that they put on it or whatever, but it even seems to bounce a little bit, which is where they got their nicknames as Buckjumpers, being bouncy riders. So DCC settings are 5 out of 5. The quality score is a 5 out of 5. I decided not to mark it down for that one bent railing because everything else is perfect, and I had to look really closely to find that bent coal rail in the first place. So it's going to be a 5 for quality. If you think I should have marked it down for the one bent coal guard railing, let me know. And the value for money. These sell for about the same price retail as the Rapido E1s do. At about 140 pounds for the analog version, which is actually a great price for this little engine. Like, it's still expensive for how small the engine is, but it's just so packed with detail and features that I wouldn't even complain at that price. Yeah, it's a little expensive for this size of engine, but as much features and die-caster on it, I don't feel like that's a ripoff at all. And the digital version, while the price has gone up a little bit recently, I paid about 200 pounds for a digital, which is kind of insane. So I'm going to go ahead and call the value for this one a 4 out of 5. This has been XR Coon 42 with Eclectic Trains, and have a good day.